So I'm going to provide an overview of my site and experience, including the missions and objectives of the organization, the jobs and tasks which I helped with, and the population with whom I worked with. So I was able to volunteer at 2 sites. I'm going to focus more on the soup kitchen. I felt like it was an amazing organization that catered to people who were either unemployed, homeless, low-income families, senior citizens, or people who are mentally or physically challenged that would like warm food served to them. Somebody Cares also helps students with tutoring as well, and they're able to do this 7 days a week. Most of the volunteers that I worked with changed daily, but they consisted of people from local churches, other students looking for volunteer hours, professionals of all ages, senior citizens, and even court-mandated volunteers looking to get community hours. All the volunteers worked together as a team, prepping for meals, cooking, serving, greeting guests, and replenishing the food. Many of the job tasks varied, so I was probably given 30 or 40 tasks within a day. This could be anything from prepping food, cooking, serving food, cleaning plates, setting up dishes, mopping, scrubbing the grill, organizing spices, cleaning dishes, drying off dishes, tossing out old food that I felt like wasn't edible, because throughout the day there's food dropped off from certain grocery stores like Trader Joe's or Albertsons, and we have to go through them and make sure they're actually quality food that I would eat and serve to somebody. I also did laundry. I handed out trays while I was out in the dining area, gave out silverware, and I just talked among the people who were stopping by and staff, and just trying to create a warm environment for everybody. And by the end of the day, after we served breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the volunteers and staff came together and we just did a deeper clean at the end of the day. And we wiped down counters and vacuumed and made sure that everything was set and ready to go for the next day, and that the food was put back on the shelves and that everything was good to go, essentially. What new skills and knowledge did I learn? How and specifically did you learn them? So I've never actually worked in the food industry before, and I now admire people who do, because working in a kitchen is not easy. It was my first time working with this team of people that were very diverse. I learned how to communicate efficiently, and I was able to kind of observe and see where I could help people, and also kind of join. The first day I didn't really have much direction from anybody, so I kind of just did my own thing, or once in a while asked what I could be doing to help out. I felt like I learned how to be independent and yet still help others while working in a team environment. What surprises did I find? So I was actually surprised by how many soup kitchen locations there were available to the public. I've passed by this location a few times and I never even noticed that it was there. And I was actually like a little hesitant towards going to it, not knowing what to expect. But then when I got there, everyone was super friendly. There were tons of volunteers. I was just surprised by how many people wanted to help and stayed all the way through. And even on a hot day, everyone was just smiles and being nice. And for whatever reason they were there, it seemed like everyone wanted to be there. So that was actually one of the biggest surprises that I found, and just how friendly everyone was. What was the most difficult part of the experience and most satisfying? So I would say the most difficult part was definitely just working alongside everybody in pretty much a really chaotic environment where people are running in and out and it's just go, go, go. I think it was about 85 degrees outside and there was no air conditioning, so everybody was hot and, standing in front of the fans in a hot kitchen. I was stirring hot curry in probably a 50-gallon pot and making eggs. Took about half an hour, so that was like another challenge. Never thought I'd say that, but cooking for 50 or 60 people, making a ton of eggs, I literally had to stir the pan for like a half an hour before they were all finished and properly cooked. Cooking for that amount of people, it's essentially like Thanksgiving times 100, so it was definitely more challenging than I ever expected. Most satisfying would be probably at the end of the day when I was all finished. I felt really good about myself. I was glad that I was able to help and that other people were alongside me helping as well. And I felt like it was just a good environment overall. So I really enjoyed just doing something good for the community. And I wish I could volunteer more if I had more time. What differences do you think you made? I think I made a difference in a lot of people that were there, especially people that were volunteers, because I was able to help them and I felt like I kept like a really positive attitude. I was singing and dancing and just kind of helping the day go by a little faster for everybody. I also helped the cook a lot. I helped organize things pretty well for her, and she gave me really good feedback on everything that I was doing. I was also able to talk to a few people, just kind of be positive and try to make someone's day and acknowledge their presence and smile back. I think in that sense, I did make a difference. So, what did I learn about myself, the organization, and the community? I'm usually at a sit down desk kind of job, so I was surprised by the fact that I made it all the way through and I was plenty energized by the time I was done. It was kind of an eye opener just to see that organizations like this do exist. I have never been to a soup kitchen before, so I didn't realize that they were open every single day, and I wasn't sure how they worked exactly and how they got their food, if it was just like all community based, and a lot of it is. Throughout the day, you have stores coming by and dropping off food, and I just feel like the whole environment was super positive. And after I was done, I felt really good about all the work that I did, and I felt thankful for everything that those people do. Even the staff members there are super nice, and I'm glad there are plenty of volunteers to help. So, number 7, ask, what did this experience mean to you, and will it change the way you act, think, or feel? I definitely feel like I look at things a little bit differently after my experience volunteering. Even that day, I just kind of noticed more homelessness, even walking back to my car and just in the community, how abundant it is to find somebody just walking the streets, or I saw someone sleeping in the alleyway as I was getting into my car, and it's definitely something that will stay with me. And lastly, how did the experience integrate with the course? As far as occupational justices go, I definitely feel like I have witnessed examples of occupational deprivation where some of the visitors maybe had, a hard luck of the draw in life, and some external factors like unsatisfactory conditions of unemployment, caused them to go through a transitional period where they need help and can't function in society. I feel like a lot of them also have personal issues that affected their lifestyles, um, whether that's mental disorders or physical disabilities or cultural barriers, um, or substance abuse issues. I feel like that was also something with the clientele that I definitely witnessed. Um, and I also noticed how some of these people really look at somebody cares as not just like a symbol of somebody who actually cares and is willing to help, but also a place where they can build therapeutic relationships with other people, not just the staff, but people in the local community as well. I definitely saw friendships happen. I definitely noticed how some people were, long term friends from what I saw. So um, I definitely feel like it integrated with the course very well.